Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile, and despite straightaways barely 200 yards long, it's a very fast racetrack. The secret is in the variable banking of the 300-yard corners. You may not have much room to accelerate off one corner before shutting down for the next, but with steep banking up to 30 degrees, there's not much loss of speed when you get there. The all-concrete racing surface provides great traction. With 153,000 seats arrayed in grandstands all the way around the racing surface, Bristol looks more like a football stadium on steroids than a typical racetrack. Veteran drivers have described racing in this East Tennessee Speed Emporium as the equivalent of flying a fighter plane in a gymnasium. So it's not surprising that every NASCAR Cup Series race draws a massive crowd. Still, the best seat in the house is the one behind the wheel, but it's sure not a relaxing one. With lap speeds ticking by at 15 seconds or less, and the compact nature of the racetrack means that there are infield pits on both the front and back straightaways. The drivers have that added complication to deal with. Open for competition in 1961, Bristol Motor Speedway has had a number of remodels over the years, several owners as well. It's been under its current owner, Speedway Motorsports, that Bristol has enjoyed its greatest period of growth. The track hosts events for all three of NASCAR's National Series, and once again goes through a dirt makeover for the World of Outlaws, as well as the Cup Series only dirt race. But tonight, it's the Luke Simonson Dirt Dash, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV as practice continues to wind down here at Bristol. We're on the dirt track, of course, as you can see here in our aerial scenic coverage. Practice winding down again. This is a tape-delayed event. We ran it here on Wednesday. We weren't able to cover it live, so once again, we go back to the tape, the hard drive, pull up the replay file, and get her done. Practice again, just wrapping up here. Let's go down trackside to see where everybody is lining out. Sam Fontaine is fifth quick. 11 to Justin Bondurant, 17.61. He's fastest thus far. Details for tonight, 100 lap feature race. We will have, I think, 3 heats and then a consolation race to set the field. No single car qualifying to contend with. Air temperature 78 degrees, 55% humidity. Track temp coming in about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Not sure how much that's really going to play a part with the dirt surface versus the concrete, but nonetheless. Again, Bondurant, your top time, the 15 of Luke Nupp and Steve Miles. The 6 machine of J.W. Miller, then Alex Bryson in P5. Josh Gagnon, Diego Sainz, Brandon Alphin, Tristan Lattiser, and then Sam Fontaine, your top 10. And practice winding down here. We're going to jump right into our heat, so don't go anywhere. Clock about to strike 0. Practice comes to an end here. Again, we are going to jump right into our heats. Take a look at our starting grid for heat race number 1 on the pole position. It's going to be Sam Barnes. Yeah, this is unfortunately not going to be our grid here, so we'll try to get that straightened out. 22 is Sam Barnes, going to be on the pole position. Looks like the 00 machine of Chris Evans. Then we've got the number 29 machine. It's going to be Richard Midkiff. The 14 of Jacob Drift. 21 of Brandon Alphen. J.W. Miller. And then the back of the field, it looks like 4 of Josh Gagnon. Two of Barnes, of course, going to start here in the pole position. The Canopy, number 22. Ten-lap heat races, nice and quick. They're going to use the heat races and the Consi to set the field. Base truck lights are out. Should see it duck off of turn 4 here, hit pit lane. No, it's going to stay on the racetrack. Short track, 2 pace laps before we take the green flag. In fact, they're working the backstretch right now. And there, the pace truck pulls down the pit lane. Green flag in the air, heat race number 1. Sam Barnes down into turn 1. Good start for the 22. Trouble already out of turn number 2. Couple cars around, no cautions here in this heat race. They'll have to square it up and figure it out. Sam Barnes out of Chicago, Illinois. Currently leads Brandon Alphen by just under a second, about 8/10 with 9 to go. Now 8 laps to go. Alphen running the HBR TV paint scheme, running in second. Stand corrected early on. It was the 4 of Kevin Davis, not Josh Gagnon. Gagnon typically running the number 79, but Davis running the downrange transport machine. Gagnon in the number 79 Moza entry, running in P3. Up front, Sam Barnes still with the lead. Alphen closing the gap under half a second now. A little over rotation off of turn number 2. Now, Alphen, for a guy that doesn't necessarily run dirt, having a good go of it here, at least in the heat. Three laps to go from Bristol, heat number 1. Barnes has led every lap thus far. Alphen's been able to close the gap, but can he find a way around? '21 taking the high side, at least on entry. Barnes looking real smooth here. Alphen trying to switch lines up, trying to find a way to catch up. White flag in the air, final lap of heat number 1. Barnes out of turn 4, checkered flag in the air. The 22 is going to take the first heat of the night. Brandon Alphin, Josh Gagnon, Chris Evans, J.W. Miller 5th. 6th, Kevin Davis, Jacob Drift P7, Richard Midkiff 8th. No time wasted here. We're going to jump right into heat number 2. One to watch in this one's going to be the 15 of Luke Knupp, that's for sure. Front row, Steve Miles, Chris Dean, and Luke Knupp, and the 63 of Alex Cummings. Tyler Brewer, Alex Bryson, Chris Treppa, Blaine Sparling, and Jason Dalton. Pace car about to pull off, does so, peels off that dirt banking this time out of turn 4 as we wait for the green flag. Field comes to life. We're back racing here, heat number 2 underway. Luke Knupp goes way to the bottom already on Steve Miles here, trying to take advantage. The 63 of Cummings was thinking about going up the middle, but Luke Knupp with a great run down the backstretch goes from that second row up to the lead here as Chris Treppa gets into the fence with the 38 machine. Just like that, Luke Knupp goes to the point. That didn't take long at all. Goes to the point and continues to stretch the advantage over the 24 of Steve Miles. Eight laps to go, heat number 1. Luke Knupp still with the race lead. Miles runs P2, third, 63 of Cummings. Christine, Jason Dalton exchanging positions here. Tyler Brewer knocking on the door as well. Brewer goes a little bit too far around, gets a piece of the barrier. The end of pit wall, to be specific. That's going to end his heat early. Blaine Sparling in the number 59 Red Sim Design Toyota, running in the 6th spot. Chris Treppa back in 7th. Alex Bryson last, running in 8th. I say last. Tyler Brewer's last in 9th. He had his incident getting into the wall. Some damage on the Alex Bryson machine already. That thing's looking like a modified. Jason Dalton running in that 4th position. Chris Dean in 5th. Got company coming. Blaine Sparling in the 59. Meanwhile, out front, Luke Knupp crosses the stripe, if there was one in the dirt, takes the white flag. Final lap for heat number 2. Luke Knupp with a 1.4 second lead down the backstretch here. Takes the top spot in the heat win with ease. Knupp crosses the line. Winner of heat number 2. Luke Knupp, Steve Miles, Alex Cummings, Jason Dalton, Chris Dean, Blaine Sparling, Chris Treppa, Alex Bryson, Tyler Brewer. Your Heat 2 results. Heat number 3 gridding up. Sam Fontaine going to start from P1. Laddiser to his outside. So we roll off. Again, 2 laps. We'll take the green flag. Again, a 9-car field with 10 laps to settle this heat, our 3rd heat. After this, we will get the consolation race. I will be the first one to admit I don't know a ton about dirt racing. It's not my cup of tea per se, but I gotta say, many times, at least here at Bristol, they tend to put on some pretty decent races. We'll see if that holds true here tonight. Pace truck is off, green flag in the air, and we're racing heat number 3 underway. Driver up in the wall already. Might have been the 44, Diego Sainz. Battle for the lead, though, on a turn number 4. It's Fontaine and the 23 of Laddiser. Oh, some more trouble on to turn number 2. Some cars in the fence. 33 machine. Andrew Miller in the 74. It's going to get the worst of this one, I believe. Back out front. Sam Fontaine leading it. Down the backstretch. Not much of a stretch. Six laps to go here in heat number 2. Fontaine leads Laddiser. Matt Telder running in the 3rd spot, but a ways back. And it's Diego Sainz. He's in his own world as well. Cameron Ingram running 5th. He's got company, though. Justin Bondurant coming into the fray. Robert Lukens back in 7th. Luke Simonson putting up the sponsorship for tonight's race. Andrew Miller has since parked it. Fontaine just doing a good job just getting the laps done. Still maintains a 0.4 of a second advantage over the 23 of Lattiser. 3 laps to go. Both drivers pretty consistent in their line. About a 0.07 of a second difference in lap time the last time by. 2 laps to go for Fontaine. Got a slow rolling Luke Simonson on the bottom. White flag in the air, final lap. Fontaine putting some more distance on the 23. It's up to 6/7. Down the back straight. One more time. At the line, it's going to be Sam Fontaine winning heat number 3. So it's Fontaine, Lattiser, Telder, Ingram, Sainz, Bondurant, Lukens, Simonson, Miller. Your heat results. And with that, we're going to jump out, get a quick break before our consolation race. We'll be back right after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, getting ready for the consolation race. And after this, we will go straight into our 100-lap feature here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Jacob Drift going to start this one from P1. Chris Treppa on the outside. Once again, 2 pace laps before we take the green flag. Bigger tracks above, I think it's 3/4 of a mile or larger, you'd get just a single pace lap. But here on the short tracks, it's 2 laps. Not quite necessary here with these smaller fields in a heat race, but if you had, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 plus cars here, you really do need 2 laps to get everybody lined out, organized properly. Well, here we go. Pace truck pulls down off the banking into pit lane. Final green flag of the night prior to our feature in the Consi. Green flag in the air. Chris Treppa jumps out to the early lead over Jacob Drift. Goes to the high side. Treppa looking strong here early on. Bryson jumps into the second spot over Lukens. Bryson had his issues. He was looking like a modified earlier, put a new front nose on that machine right away. Got it fixed. Back in this one. Quickly loses that second spot to the 33 machine. That's Robert Lukens. Battle for the second spot here. Bryson goes back to the bottom, takes P2 away. Jacob Drift not having a good go of it here again. Started on the pole position. He slipped back into the 8th spot already, only a few laps into this. Running back with Simonson and the 29 of Richard Midkiff. Battle for second has pretty much dissipated. Lukens running in P3, gets a big chunk of the wall. Tyler Brewer and Andrew Miller running together. They're over rotation for the 40. Big run coming up top for Miller. He's going to take advantage of that mistake from Brewer. Brewer goes to the bottom, short way around the racetrack. The 74 can't keep the power down. Brewer, big time over rotate. Miller's got to check up. Gets to the inside though. Brewer now on the high side, up in that cooler, unused dirt in the top lane. Gets the run out of the corner off of 4. Goes back around Miller. Meanwhile, Treppa continues to lead by a wide margin. 1.7 back to Alex Bryson. Miller's taking the spot from Tyler Brewer. Brewer back to the 5th position. Miller maintaining fourth. The battle's not over with here. We still got some racing left. Checking on Jacob Drift again here, back in the 7th position. Remember, he started on pole tonight in this final race, this consolation race. Luke Simonson all the way down there on the bottom. Again, these two are battling for that final position. Drift crosses over, tries to dive to the bottom. Not enough of a run to get alongside. He'll over-rotate for Simonson. Miller and Brewer, the closest battle on the track as of right now. Check on these two. Oh, lose a little connection. Simonson and Gladich, or Drift as he's so affectionately called. Battle going away. Midkiff now next on the target list for Luke Simonson. Meanwhile, Treppa looking for a white flag here any minute. There it is, white flag in the air. Final lap in the consolation race for the 50th, Chris Treppa. Real loose or just playing some games for the 50. He takes the win here in the Consi. Look at your results. Of course, Chris Treppa, Alex Bryson, Robert Lukens, Tyler Brewer, Andrew Miller, Luke Simonson, Richard Midkiff, Jacob Drift, Jason Clark rounding out the field. Clark looks like he didn't take the green on that session. Just like that, the Consi's in the books. We will jump right into our feature. Field going to roll out for a quick warm-up here. We're going to jump out and get another break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
again. Try to find me, sweet little girl.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt for the Lucas Simonson's Dirt Dash at Bristol Motor Speedway. Warm-up just about wrapped up here at the Speedway, and we'll get into our starting grid in just a moment. Let's take a look at it. On the pole position, the number 22 of Sam Barnes. Outside front row, it's going to be Cameron Ingram. Luke Knupp in the number 15 starts third. Sam Fontaine in the 77 will roll from the fourth position. Row number 3, the 79 of Josh Gagnon and Alexander Bryson. Row 4, Jason Dalton and Jason Clark. Row 5, J.W. Miller in the 6th. Chris Dean, the 48, starts in the 10th spot. 11th goes to Steve Miles, with Justin Bondurant rolling off from P12. 13 starter is going to be the 44 of Diego Sainz. Brandon Elfin starts 14th. Robert Lukens rolls from the 15th spot. Luke Simonson, P16. 17th goes to Blaine Sparling. 18th, Jacob Drift. 19th, Chris Evans in the 00. Richard Midkiff starting 20th. Tristan Lattiser, the number 23, starts in the 21st spot. 22nd, Kevin Davis. Matt Telder in the 1, P23. Chris Treppa, 24th. Andrew Miller, 25th. Alex Cummings, the 63 machine, starts 26th. And Tyler Brewer, last but not least in our hearts, the number 40, starting 27th. It's your starting grid here from Bristol Motor Speedway for the Lucas Simonson Dirt Dash. Pace lap's already underway here, and we should see the green flag in about a lap and a half. See who's going to beat him down into turn number 1 first here. Could it be Sam Barnes or Luke Knupp? Maybe Sam Fontaine or Brandon Alfin making a brazen move. Got 100 lap the race distance here. That's your feature tonight. 100 laps, 50 miles around Bristol Motor Speedway. Doesn't seem like a lot, but man, you throw some dirt on this racetrack, throw the Xfinity cars out here, certainly changes things up. As the pace truck pulls down, green flag in the air. We're racing from Bristol Motor Speedway. Oh, we got trouble on the backstretch already. Very quickly, we are under yellow. And disregard the zero with caution in the upper left in the timing tower, unfortunately. iRacing not real great at sending the caution count outward during the replay sessions. It's only during the live session that it will display it properly. But either way, you know what's going on. Caution's out. Yellow on the speedway. About half a lap in. Luke Knupp, your race leader, took that early lead over the 22 of Barnes. Don't expect to see anybody hit pit lane here. We only went about a quarter of a mile before the yellow came out. Looks like Nupp's going to take the high side here as the race leader on the restart. Field working the back straightaway here. Should get the green flag in the next half lap. Green flag in the air. We're back racing here from Bristol. Let's try it again. Clean lap in the books. Up out to a big advantage, almost a full second already. We got a battle for the second spot between Barnes and Alphin. Alphin in the bottom, number 21 HBR TV entry. The 22 of Barnes on the high side. Over rotation for Alphin. It's going to give the advantage at the stripe to the 22. Sam Fontaine's going to come into the mix here as well as Lattiser and Telder. Telder working his way up through the field already. Oh, we got trouble off of turn 4. See who it was. Caution is out once again, though. Looks like Jason Dalton possibly getting a big piece of those barrels on the end of pit lane. Could have been Alex Bryson, actually. Indeed, it was. So caution number 2 already here at Bristol. Only 9 laps in. Luke Knupp, one of the more experienced dirt racers in the field. Matt Telder, certainly no slouch. Tristan Lattiser, also very good on the dirt. Just got to see if his dirt background will translate to these typically asphalt-based race cars. Alex Cummings, certainly decent as well. Sam Fontaine, even. Lane Sparling. Kevin Davis, though, running back in the 20th position. Kind of a mixed bag here. You don't get a ton of guys with a lot of dirt background that run the Xfinity car on a regular basis, but occasionally you get someone like a Kyle Larson, for instance, that's got some background in dirt racing, some experience, some ability. May come in here and run an Xfinity Series race, or season for that matter, in a league that just happens to have a dirt race on it. Difference is a lot of times that dirt racing ability, be it in maybe a 410 sprint car or even a dirt street stock, it may or may not translate over. In many cases it does. Not always the situation, though. Expecting the 1 to go signal the next time by. I want to thank you guys all for joining us here in tonight's broadcast, whether you're watching it live as we broadcast it or on the tape delay after the fact. This is a tape delayed race. Either way, we do appreciate your participation and viewership for sure. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button in the stream. That helps the channel significantly. Exposes this particular broadcast to some new eyeballs, which is not only good for us here at HBR TV, but also good for the Downrange Transport Premier Series. Again, pace truck lights are off. Field working into 3 and 4. Be the green flag the next time by. Lap, I think, 13 as it stands. Race truck is off. Green flag in the air. We're back racing once again. Luke Nutt back out to the lead, a half second over to 77 of Fontaine. Matt Telner running in P3. The 22 of Barnes is sliding backwards. That's not good to see. Brandon Alphin takes advantage up the middle. He's on the outside of the 63 of Cummings. Steve Miles just trying to get a grip on the situation here with these Xfinity cars on dirt. You heard him talk last week. Certainly not his cup of tea. And Diego Sainz involved in one here, possibly putting us under the caution once again. That is the case. Yellow on the Speedway. We're going to jump out and get a break out of the way for our third caution of the night already here. Only 17 laps in. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, getting ready to go back under the green flag. One more time around. Again, working our third caution of the night. We're on the one to go, and it looked like we had one slow car parked up at the top of the banking. It delayed the restart. We're formed up 2 by 2 once again. Again, pace truck lights are out. Pace truck is down. We're back racing from Bristol. Luke Knupp leads him back to start finish over the 77 of Fontaine. Matt Telder into the picture as well. The cream rising to the top here. Tristan Lattiser up into the 4th position. And the number 23 machine down low. Alex Cummings, the 63 up top. J.W. Miller in the 6th. He's closing in as well. Brandon Alphin in the 7th spot. Tyler Brewer inside the 33. That's Robert Lukens. Brewer tucks back in behind Ingram in the 5. Again, he's looking like a modified. Some significant damage on that machine. Good thing aero doesn't really help here, but you gotta wonder if that radiator is going to get caked up with dirt. Might run into some overheating problems. Luke Knupp still your race leader, a 3/4 second advantage over the 77 of Sam Fontaine. Looks like Luke Knupp having some connection issues, unfortunately. Lattiser running in the 3rd spot, could be 4th. Luke Knupp has disappeared from our radar screen. Sure, he'll come back in here soon enough, but right now Luke Knupp, who we believe to be the race leader, is not in the session. And this is a replay file, so this might have been a situation where he had lost connection for a period of time. And we got Haley in the stream chat. Haley watching again out of Sweden. On a tape delay here tonight, Haley, but either way, dirt racing at its finest. Having some connection issues with some of the drivers. Nonetheless, we continue to follow it. Visually on the track, J.W. Miller listed as the race leader, but I'm kind of doubting that right now. I think Luke Knupp is officially your race leader, but he is not listed in the replay, which means any kind of timing and scoring data from the 15 machine not being transmitted through the timing tower. We're seeing it again, many issues, drivers dropping out of the field here. Luke Knupp goes back to the point for a time. Still listed, but can't get him to show up here. See many drivers on the track. Looks like we're under caution once again. This incident involving, it looks like Blaine Sparling. Haley says, nice. I hope the connection issue is fixed. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the scenario is or why it happens. It's been a recurring issue with this particular league, and I'm certainly not blaming the league. These guys are great. They put on some amazing races, but I've had 2 or 3 races where for whatever reason I've lost the whole field, sometimes half the field. I don't necessarily know how it works as far as the internet connection based on whoever sets up the session, or if it's all server based out of Boston. But nonetheless, I just can't get the nail hit on the head here with this league sometimes, connection-wise. And now I'm lost the timing tower. Oh, it's back. Well, that's a good thing. Well, with that, our 4th caution of the night. You see the cars blinking out here as we run under the caution flag. We are going to step aside here under the caution, get another break out of the way. We will be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, back green flag racing. Luke Knapp back out in front. Fontaine running in P2. Got lucky enough to load the backup replay. I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, but I figured I'd try something. 15 of Luke Knapp out in front, 0.6 of a second, the advantage over the 77 after the completion of this lap. Lap 42, that is. We got somebody loose here into turn 1. Matt Telder having some trouble. That's going to put us under the caution flag one more time. Cautions breed cautions. We say it, well, we say it a lot, to be honest. It looks like Matt Telder is not happy. Is he coming up here to extract some revenge off of somebody? Not sure. Comes up alongside the 23 of Ladisser. Telder back in the 4th spot. Not really sure the scenario here, but nonetheless. So Luke Knupp continues to lead over Fontaine. We're almost to halfway here. Unfortunately, I think 5 is the highest I can count to. I think that's where we are as far as our cautions are concerned, or 5th of the night. We talked about cautions, breeding cautions. I think you throw dirt down on Bristol Motor Speedway and then add 26, 27 cars to that mix. It's a recipe for incidents on track. Of course, you've got many guys out here that just don't have dirt racing as part of their discipline. A handful of them certainly have plenty of experience on it. From what I can see so far, most of those guys are up within that top 5. Base truck lights are out. Restart coming, I think the next time by, next couple corners through 3 and 4. There it is. Pace truck pulls off at turn 4. Green flag in the air. Luke Knupp gets a great jump on the high side. Puts 4 or 5 car lengths between himself and the 77 of Fontaine. Down into turn number 1. Luke Knupp pins that car on the bottom of the racetrack now, finding some different dirt. Fontaine gets a beautiful run out of turn 4, gets alongside. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot Fontaine can do. He's doing a good job staying with the 15, but Knupp just able to power out of the corner, put a little bit of distance between himself and the 77, but the caution is out once again. So we just get to halfway. So with that, we'll take another break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back in Bristol, pace truck is off. Back racing once again. Another great restart for the 15 of Luke Nupp over Sam Fontaine. Battle for second, Fontaine, J.W. Miller. Then the 23 Laddister, Matt Telder back in the mix here. Big wreck, looking like it's shaping up on the backstretch. Do we get another caution? Do I even turn off the light? I think we got away with it, or did we? Now pace truck back on the speedway once again. 56 laps in here. Hopefully we can get some long green flag runs in here tonight, but right now it doesn't seem like that's on the docket for the evening. It's going to be caution after caution. Again, this place is tough. We've talked about that early on in the race. Get a fairly large field for a dirt race, 27 Xfinity cars, again, primarily built for racing on asphalt tracks. Yes, they can get it done. Yes, throw some dirt tires on it, some minor changes to the setup. Yeah, you can make it work. But you've got a handful of guys that are good on dirt, and the rest of them that may not have any experience whatsoever, with the exception of maybe that one race per season in their particular league that might run on the dirt track. Certainly makes for a difficult night for some drivers. But it is what it is. Again, we're 57 laps in here. We're going to jump out and take another break. There's only so much I can say here, but we'll be back before the restart. Stay with us.
Don't know where that baby.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway for Lucas Simonson's Dirt Dash on the 1 to go. Once again, wrapping up another caution here at the Speedway. Half a lap away from going back under the green flag. It'll be lap 61. So all we can do is just keep trying it. Again, not a dirt series. It's the one dirt race that they run all season long as the pace truck pulls down in turn 4 pit lane entry. Luke Nupp, once again, another great restart out of the Spicy Schemes, number 15. Battle is for second. Sam Fontaine up the middle. The 6 on the bottom. That's J.W. Miller. The 23 of Tristan Laddister up top as well. Nupp is checked out. He is gone. 3/4 second advantage after just one lap. Keep an eye on Tristan Laddister again, having a strong night. Up 17 spots this evening. Sounds like we got another issue on track. Maybe Kevin Davis, yes indeed, and Alex Cummings involved. under our, what I would say is probably our 6th or 7th caution of the evening. Again, I apologize, folks. There is an indicator of a caution up in the timing tower, but other than that, it does not give us a count as to how many cautions we have in the replay file. Only does that if we are live. Doesn't matter if I'm on SDK or ATVO, it doesn't make a difference. It's all about what information iRacing provides to the outward software that we use for our overlays. So again, 65 laps in. I hate to keep doing this and jumping out to break, but there's, like I said, there's only so much we can talk about. Luke Knupp still in command, dominating tonight's race. With the cautions that we have had, I'm just curious, if we had a very long run, would Luke Knupp be able to stretch it out and start to put some cars a lap down just on pace alone? I think he would. The way it's going so far, though, I don't know if we're going to get that opportunity, but time will tell. As it stands right now, before we go to break, Luke Knupp, your race leader, and we've just lost everybody. They're back. Then it's Sam Fontaine, J.W. Miller, Steve Miles, Tristan Lattiser in the top 5. Jason Dalton is 6th, Brandon Alphin 7th, 8th, Cameron Ingram, Alex Bryson 9th, and Diego Sainz running in the 10th spot. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just like that, back to the green flag. Another good restart for Luke Knupp. He's been on the power and on the point and on the ball every chance that green flag comes back out. On a turn 2 down the backstretch, stretching out a big lead over the 77 of Fontaine. And we've got the 38 around on the backstretch. And we're back under the yellow flag. It's got to be frustrating even for the drivers. You run a race like this, it's, you got a handful of them, like we said, that if you have some dirt experience, and they can certainly get around this place, and they just want to do that. They want to get going, they want to get running, get into a rhythm. It's really hard to do that when you get caution after caution. It is what it is, though. We've talked about it so much this evening. Got a lot of drivers that don't have a lot of experience here on the dirt. Tough racetrack. It's a competition environment. Guys are trying to push as hard as they can to get every position that they can, regardless of their experience level. Fortunately, it just doesn't always work the greatest. You get caution after caution. It's no one's fault. It just is what it is. Got Tristan Sykes in the stream chat. Tristan says, Steve, dirt, are you lost? Well, at least I know where I'm at. But it is the one dirt race of the season for the Downrange Transport Premier Series. It's been a tough one. Lots of cautions. I think this is our 8th or 9th yellow already of the night. 72 laps in. Tape delay, no less. So we kind of knew where this one was going to go. But again, they can't all be gems. We've said that a lot here at HBR TV. Not every race is going to be a barn burner, side by side, coming to the checkered flag, upside down, backwards on fire. It just doesn't happen that way. It's all right, though. We go from here, Bristol Dirt, to Five Flags Speedway next week on the 21st. 200 laps around Five Flags with the Xfinity car. Another short track. We may see some cautions there, too, but I think because we'll be on pavement instead of the dirt, we might be okay. Tristan Sykes, do you need me to send you a list of dirt lingo? You know, if you have a list, I'll be honest, I would probably take it. It's not my cup of tea typically, but again, this is not a series that runs dirt all season long. It's their one race of the year. We'll get through it. Warmed up 2x2 here. Pace car lights, pace truck lights are off. It's green flag racing the next time by. It'll be lap 75. Scheduled distance 100 laps. It says 106 in the tower. We'll figure that out later. Likely something to do with the replay file. There it is. Pace car's off. On board with Luke Knupp as he continues to lead. Sam Fontaine trying to close that gap. He's been able to get as close as side by side, but has not been able to pass Luke Knupp on the racetrack thus far. Tristan Sykes says, digging means going fast. I figured that much. I probably could have put 2 and 2 together on that one. Caution on the speedway once again. Andrew Miller in trouble. Ripping the top. I kind of got an understanding of that one too. A lot of cars looking a little worse for wear out here. 59 of Blaine Sparling. Robert Lucan's pretty beaten and battered. This car's starting to look like modifieds. Tyler Brewer going to come down pit lane. Plenty of dirt covering up the front end of that machine. Says rip the lip. I've honestly never heard that one. I've heard rip at the top. I've heard Brad Sweet say that one. See, now I'm throwing out names like I know who I'm talking about. Brewer in pit lane here. Smoke pouring out of the front of that machine. Possibly overheating. His night could be done. Christine, speaking of modifieds. Robert Lucan's front end damage on that machine as he leaves the pits as well. Alex Bryson not looking good either. Luke Knupp still out in front. I don't think there's a lap he has yet to lead tonight. Strong performance for the 15. Let's give a shout out to the 77 of Fontaine, though. Though he has not been able to make a pass on Luke, he's been able to hang with him, stick to that second spot all night long. Started P4, didn't take long to get up there in behind the 15. Pushing the cushion is also accepted. I like that one. That's good. Tristan's going to throw me one that's inappropriate, and I'm too dumb to know the difference between that and dirt racing. I'm probably going to say it on the air. Now, I see some of these guys trying to get up into that loose dirt, as Tristan would call it, the cushion. Trying to get some cooler temperatures into the tires, I would assume. We see some guys actually play that game with the grass on the road courses. Ironically enough, I was at a Race of Champions modified race here at Spencer Speedway here last Friday. I saw a couple of guys doing the same thing with the grass on the front stretch, trying to get the left sides cooled off. Tristan says he's an adult. I beg to differ. Maybe by age, but realistically, are any of us really adults? So pace truck lights go out, 24 to go, it'll be 23 to go when we get back to the line. Simple math here. Looking up, another opportunity here. Let's see if we can get a good jump. Fires right off. One car up in the fence, didn't catch who that was. Luke Knupp already putting 0.7 of a second on the 77 of Fontaine. J.W. Miller trying to reel in that 77 machine to no avail, but a battle for the 4th position. Tristan Lattiser and Steve Miles side by side. Brandon Alphin in his own battle with the one of Matt Telder. Dalton gets up in the fence. Telder makes contact. We got another caution. Going to be some short fuses here to put out by the end of this one. Short fuses, short tempers. I don't know. We'll figure how this one goes. But coming to 19 laps to go under the yellow flag one more time. Guys just trying to get it settled down. It's just not paying off. I don't know if it's just close quarters, inexperience, dirt racing and asphalt race cars, or all of the above. Interestingly enough, there is dirt on the nose of the Luke Knupp machine. I don't know how that's even possible, unless it's coming off the back of the pace truck. If nothing else about tonight, I know we've had a bunch of yellow flags and a bunch of incidents on track, but Luke Knupp, even through all that, has maintained his composure. He's nailed every restart, been able to maintain that top spot just about all night long. Yeah, Luke started in P3, but man, he went right to the point right away on the initial start. Andrew Miller in the pit lane here trying to get some damage repaired. We'll see if he takes tires or not. It hasn't been a ton of laps under the green flag to justify the tires. Definitely getting some repairs though. We'll see if this thing can handle a little bit better with some straighter sheet metal. Looks like Miller did take some tires. Pace car lights stay on. So we may be on the one to go this time by. So there it is. You see the pace car lights are now off. Pace truck, that is. Official pace truck of iRacing. Which means only one thing, the green flag to come out the next time by. Hopefully we can get this one in. Truck pulls down to pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Up with another great jump into battle for the second spot. 3 wide for a moment. Fontaine in trouble. Does he stay around? He keeps it straight. 3 wide just ahead. Diego Sainz and Brandon Alphin. Then the 0-0 involved in that as well. Chris Evans. Big time changes. Fontaine having trouble on the restart. Luke Knupp, not the case. Laddiser goes into P2. He's got company in J.W. Miller coming. Up the track a little bit. No contact between the 6 and the 23. Fontaine trying to work his way back through, but we have another issue on track. Looks like Andrew Miller possibly again. If he is the reason for it, he's back straight. Haley in the Stream Jet. Yellows are not fun. No, they certainly are not. I mean, going slow behind the pace truck, that's never a good time. Good news is we got about 13 laps to go. We're getting there. And as I said, they cannot all be gems. I will say the Downrange Transport Premier Series has put on some phenomenal racing this season. Tonight, not necessarily one of those nights, but again, they cannot all be perfect. Every week is not going to be amazing. They've done a damn good job of it up until this point. So I guess we'll let it slide. They're going to get the mulligan for sure on this one. So with that, we're going to jump out, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, coming to 8 laps to go. We'll get the green flag when we come back by. Half a lap away from the restart. Haley says, the yellows keep me up longer. Well, at least it's the weekend. Hope you don't work on a Saturday, Haley. Pace truck pulls off. Tristan Lattiser on the bottom. Luke Knupp still with a good jump. Car length plus down into turn number 1. 8 laps to go. And we might have some trouble in the back here. Indeed we do. Caution on the speedway again. This is going to send us into NASCAR overtime at Bristol. Can't buy a break. Well, Haley, no one would blame you if you went to bed. Again, it is almost 10 o'clock p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. I think that makes it, I'm going to guess, is that like 2 in the morning in Sweden? Maybe 3 a.m. in Sweden? Either way, I hope you don't have to work tomorrow nonetheless. But as always, we do certainly appreciate you being here. One of our most loyal followers here at HBR TV. So that was it. That would have been the race distance if we hadn't gone to NASCAR overtime. 3 opportunities to get this race in here under the green flag. So 3 chances at a green, white, checkered finish. As this next green flag comes out, if we get a caution before the driver in the lead takes the white flag, we will line them up again, try it another time, give it another go. However, if the leader, in this case Luke Knupp, takes the white, before that happens, that would be the next flag to end the race, whether it's the yellow or the checkered. That's race. That would end it. What I found here in iRacing, typically, though, if there is an issue, yellow doesn't come out. You just go back to the line, race it back to the checkers. Expecting to get the 1 to go signal the next time by. Possibly the time after that. We'll see how this plays out. Those of you still here watching in this broadcast, tune in next week. It'll be next Tuesday evening in the States, June the 20th, for the PFR Sports Car Championship from the Nürburgring. Tune in to HBR TV. About 8:45 p.m. in the East. LMP2 and GT3 cars going at it for their second race of the season. Here we go. Pace truck about to pull off. Field formed up 2 by 2. Let's watch Luke Knupp, see if he can hammer down and get another good restart. He does. A little slower to the throttle is the 23 of Lattiser. Fontaine has been so strong all night long, and the second spot has slipped all the way back to P9. Field working down the back straightaway here. Luke Knupp in command, looking for the white flag. flag in the air. Final lap for the 15 of Luke Knupp. Down the backstretch, no pressure out the back window from the 6 of J.W. Miller. A dominating performance for Luke Knupp. On to turn 4, the checkered flag waves. Luke Knupp's going to win the Lucas Simonson Dirt Dash. Second place, J.W. Miller. Tristan Lattiser is third. Brandon Alphin brings it home fourth. And Steve Miles, P5. No smoke show for Luke Knupp, but he's certainly spinning out, doing the donuts here on the front stretch, having a good old time. Got a lot of concentration involved to do that many restarts. I think it was 13 yellows over the course of the evening. Restart after restart after restart for Luke Knupp. Got the jump every single time. Brings it home to victory lane. And he blows it up doing the celebration. That's okay. Race over. No need to worry on that one. Luke Knupp, your race winner. Let's take a look at our official race results. Of course, Luke Knupp, your race winner. J.W. Miller brings it home in the second spot. A good run for him after starting ninth. Tristan Lattiser finishes third. Talk about a hard charger. He was up 18 spots. Started way back in the field here tonight. Brandon Alphin finishes fourth. He was up 10 spots. Steve Miles was P5. Sixth went to Diego Sainz. Sam Fontaine, P7. Eighth went to Cameron Ingram. Justin Bondurant finishes in the ninth spot. Chris Evans was 10th. Jason Dalton, 11th. Alex Cummings was 12th. Kevin Davis, 13th. 14th finisher, that went to Andrew Miller. Sam Barnes was 15th. Blaine Sparling was 16th. Robert Lukens was 17th. Richard Midkiff, 18th. 19th went to Matt Telder. Josh Gagnon was 20th. Christine, 21st. Tyler Brewer, 22nd. Alex Bryson, 23rd. Chris Treppa, 24th. And Luke Simonson, credited with last, the 25th position here tonight. Tough break for the 25 of Simonson. Came in here sponsoring tonight's race and unfortunately finishes dead last. That's going to wrap it up for us here at Bristol Motor Speedway, though. Thank you guys all for tuning in here on the tape-delayed coverage of the Downrange Transport Premier Series from Bristol Motor Speedway, the Luke Simonson Dirt Dash. We'll see you guys at the next one. Again, next race here at HBR TV. It's coming up Tuesday. We talked about it moments ago, the PFR Sports Car Championship from the Nürburgring. We're not talking Nordschleife. It's going to be on the WEC layout. But either way, looking forward to that one. Going to be a great race. Certainly excited for it. Tune in for it. Again, LMP2 and GT3 racing. And then we'll have a live event for the Downrange Transport Premier Series from Five Flag Speedway next Wednesday on the 21st. It's going to wrap it up for us here at Bristol. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.